Gastroenterology is fairly unique in medicine specialties. The nice thing about it is it straddles the fence between the surgical and the medical. So we get a little bit of both worlds. We get to taste what it's like to have instant gratification of putting our hands on a problem and fixing it. But we also get the challenge of getting to know patients with chronic conditions over a long period of time, building that relationship and being able to see the reward of long-term treatment. So we get a little bit of both, and there's something special about that. You get the instant gratification to keep you going on those days when you're getting a little tired, and you get the long-term patient building that you got into medicine in the first place for. My approach is always centered on trying to meet the patient where they are. Part of my evaluation with a patient is always to try to see what they're comfortable with, trying to get a sense of exactly what they're going through, how it's impacting their life, which I think often goes overlooked, and then trying to tailor a treatment to their needs and to their expectations. So I find that the reward is in working with a patient to figure out the unique aspects of their problem and how to fix their problem. A lot of it is listening. So I spend a lot of my time with open-ended questions trying to get more information from a patient, trying to really hear what their day-to-day experience of their symptoms is. And then when it comes to treatment, there are lots of different treatments. There are multiple ways to skin a cat. And so it's not my way or the highway. It's much more of a trying to find what risks and benefits a patient is willing to take. And so there's a lot of discussion that goes into that, and a lot of both nonverbal and verbal communication that I've spent a lot of time trying to understand and trying to be able to be adept at. The collaborative atmosphere at UGI is fantastic. It's unique. There are a lot of smaller gastroenterology groups and a lot of bigger gastroenterology groups that don't communicate very well. But when you have a group like this where you've got both size and ease of communication, it really serves patients well, because you're able to either take care of a problem yourself or help others of your colleagues with a similar problem, or if you have a colleague who has particular expertise or particular interest, you're very easily able to get a patient to the right physician to help take care of their problem. So I spoke earlier about meeting patients where they are. And I mean that on a philosophical level, but I also mean that on a physical level. Rhode Island may be a small state, but it is also a state where people are comfortable in their neighborhoods, comfortable in their homes, and want to have things available to them where they are. Portsmouth, being on the island, has sort of a captive audience. You know, it's not the easiest thing to get off an island, and when you're dealing with bridges, it can be a daunting thing, and when you're having to come up to a city with issues with parking and not being used to dealing with any of those things, that can be a barrier to entry. It prevents people from seeking care. It prevents people from following through on their care. And so we have a nice office in Portsmouth. It's very calm. You have lots of parking. It's right in the middle of their community, right by their coffee shop. And being there allows us to provide our services to a patient population that is in need of them and might otherwise let their problem get worse, or might otherwise ignore their problem altogether. I would say we are there to serve you. We're serving your friends and your neighbors, and we would love to be a resource for you as well. We offer everything that the entire group has to offer right at your doorstep, and we're able to take care of patients as we can, and if we're not able to, we're able to help guide them in a very non-threatening and approachable way to make sure that they get the care they require. Right now, my life is subsumed by two small children, and so they've kept me quite busy. When we are able to get them to bed at a reasonable hour, we do enjoy kayaking on the Sakonnet River. That's been something that we could not do in Chicago or in Detroit. But getting outdoors, getting out onto the beach has been a lovely thing. It's been a very welcoming place to raise those two small children, and it's been a place that I felt accepted very quickly.